Hello, my name is Jean Babkina. I'm certified metaphorical associative card practitioner. Today, I will show you how the metaphorical associative cards, the best coaching tool, work. So, in this demo session, I will show you how you can use cards to help clients to solve their request in the shortest possible time. This demo session will focus on the topic sports issues related to sport training or sport performance for athlete coaches, sometimes even parents having problems with their kids in training or performance or communication. I will show you 2 demo sessions with tennis player from one of tennis academies in Cairo and another one with a chess player. This demo session will demonstrate how we can really help the clients to overcome their psychological issues in their career, in their performance training. The first request, 16 years old, a guy from tennis academy said, I can't cope with a very strong negative feeling, irritation, before an important match. Each time I can't handle it. There are no problem with physical readiness. My body is totally ready, but I have psychological issues. How and what we can do in this case? How can we work with such a request using metaphorical cards? How can we find the exact cause of the irritation, his irritation, and the resources and actions can help to cope with it? First, I asked him to choose openly a card that reflects his state before the start of the match. I chose the card number 30. I asked him to describe, and he describes it. He said that he sees the legs of runner are tied, and he wants to run at full strength, but he can't. First, he needs to break these threads, and only then he can run fast. But his opponent is already leading, so he needs 10 times more effort to reach them, to achieve same level of speed. What are these threads and that bind his legs? His answer, in fitness training, we have exercise with a special rubber bands. Here is what they use, and this rubber severely limits movement, and the strong muscles are needed to overcome the resistance of the band. The fitness coach believes that this exercise are extremely important for players, so they must this exercises must be done each time in training. But I really hate them, so they are unpleasant to me, and I can't explain why. I just hate limitation of my movements. What does the client says by this? He says that there is something really deeper, but we can't start to work on it in this maybe session. And what does he think about before the start? He said that he is somehow tied up also. So before the match, he feels something tie him up. Something restricts his freedom and doesn't allow him to relax and enjoy the game. And what does he feel before the match? Anger. This is his answer. Now we ask to openly choose a card that associated with the solution in the problem. He chose card number 19 with the coach, and he said, I think to explain to the coach that I'm ready to replace any leg strengthening exercises with any others, but not to use the rubber. What do we see through this work? First, what coach the athlete's attention, it's real their pain, the ropes of their legs, their restrictors, and the athlete cannot stand being physically restricted, which affects his perception and psycho-emotional state. This may be some childhood trauma, but it's important for us to help him understand the cause of negative emotions within the session and find a solution. Second, here we can see a double restriction. First, the bands and the lack of independent choice of exercise. He wanted another exercise, but coach said, no, you must do this. This intensifies the negative feeling, but the need to feel free in movement and in choice remains. So when this need cannot be met, irritation, anger, and negative state arise. Third, the athlete doesn't know how to explain to the coach their negative attitude, especially towards the band, not towards muscle training as it. And the fourth, it's the lack of understanding of the reason also adds negativity. So thanks to Mark, metaphorical cards, and we are able not only to find the exact cause, but also to address the real needs. In this case, freedom of action, freedom of choice. The athlete also find the solution to the problem in their subconscious on their own. If we had worked with Mac, it wouldn't be a big question how quickly we could have identified the problem, and with the band and the feeling of restriction, the need of freedom of action and choice, we could have been exploring past experience, how ready he feel himself for the matches, what they are afraid of, when and in what situations they experience such irritation, and so on. So, but through cards, with the help of Mark, the athlete's subconscious mind itself reveals the cause and its solution in a few minutes. This is it was session number 1, and now session number 2. What was the request? The chess player, 21 years old, and member of national team. He said, after a loss or defeat, I struggle with negative feelings for a long time. My motivation drops and I don't feel like doing anything. How can I quickly recover from this? How can I quickly deal with negative feelings? A similar request can be made for a team when the atmosphere in the team deteriorates, hidden conflicts arise, unspoken grievances appear, and motivation drops. So we ask the player to choose a card that associated with the state after a loss or defeat. He chose card number 43. Here is the card. And then I ask him to describe it. He sits dejected without a head because it seems like his head has exploded. And without head, the body doesn't want or can't do anything. The brain seems dead. What exactly is associated with the problem? My question. His answer. Brain explosion. And when did this problem arise? Has it always been like this? No. It started with the arrival of a new coach. Previously, defeats were not so painful. Yes, it was unpleasant, but it was quickly forgotten. And what changed? The coach constantly says that we must win, that we must train more, that we can't lose, that we need to think faster and calculate moves in match faster. This constant pressure. And when a match is lost, it's like I have to do twice as much now, but I can't. Okay, what do we see in this case? What did the cards help to pull out? The first, we see the fact and starting point of the problem. The problem appeared with the arrival of a new coach and his emphasis on results, his statements, you must, pressure. These are excessive demands, excessive expectations from the coach. And his focus is only on the result. The athlete's negative emotions arise because of, first, the discrepancy between the coach's demand and expectations. Second, shaken self-esteem and a feeling of hopelessness. I can't, you must. I can't, you must. This connection paralyzes. And it's all because the player takes the coach's words and expectations very seriously. The next, I ask the player to choose a card that is associated with the word must, that the coach repeats. You must, you must, you must. Why this card? Because it is his verbal, but he wants me and the other guys to lift it. Choose a card that you associate with the solution. Why exactly this card? There is a solution in it or no? This coach has strength. He teaches how to quickly adapt to the opponent's game, and he's good at analyzing opponents' games. I need to focus on what he explains, not on what he wants. At this point, we can conclude the session because the athlete has fully understood the problem of negative feelings, and second, he found a solution to deal with the problem. So just 3 cards, and the subconscious provided answers to clients' questions. Metaphorical associative cards is the most effective and accurate and quickest tool for understanding causes and finding solutions.